Let's see, make sure everything is working just fine. Slowly loading. Rewards enabled. I'm gonna have to look into this. I don't know what this is all about rewards available on this stream, but something to look into later. Dismiss for now. Why are you not showing? Why are you still showing me offline? Come on. Come on, Twitch. You can do it. There we go. Visually looks fine. Nope. No opening song. No opening thing again. That's copyright strike.
No opening song.
There we go. Sounds good as well. So hello people of the internet. It is I, Soul Dragon here, back with more Fate Stay Night Remastered. Last time we tried to go with Seba to the temple and ended up hitting a bad end. This time, however, after we got the bad end, we kind of didn't go with Saber. She ran out without us, sort of feels like it broke our trust a little bit. But in the end, we declared that we would protect Saber, so she didn't need to fight. So the very next day, most of the day was spent getting our ass handed to us by Saber. And after lunch with Saber, we resume our training at the dojo, and the next thing I know, it's time for dinner. I rest fatigued after my training with Saber, so I take a bath to rinse the sweat off. By the time I head to the living room, dinner is ready. I'm a little moved. It's really nice to come out of the bath and find dinner ready without doing anything. Yep, Rin is still with us. Amiya, it's dinner time. Why are you standing there like an idiot? Oh, that's another thing. Rin convinced Sakura not to come by our place anymore, and in the bad end, we discovered that Medusa was lying in ambush, so Shinji is still not to be trusted. Surprise, surprise there. And yet, why does she have to ruin the moment? Nothing. It's dinner, right? I'm ready to eat. Where's Saber? I thought Saber went to your room, Shiro. You didn't see her. That's weird. She was here a second ago. Taiga's still coming by, though, apparently. Maybe you two missed each other because this place is as big as a hotel? Fine, I'll go get Saber, so you should go to the bathroom one more time. You didn't dry your hair properly. No, you're right. Okay then, I'll leave Saber to you. Alright. I might have to, I don't have a quick way to blur out the stream, just because we saw... Yeah, let me just do this real quick. Just because of the, how do I set this to mature stream again? Yeah, it's not showing me how to do that, so we're just going to be very, very quick here. We might skip through some things and then go back through the dialogue, just because of something I saw when looking at the flowchart here. I wave to Tosaka and step back into the hallway. Okay, I'm ready to skip to the loo. Or rather, skip from the loo, since that seems to be where we're going. As Tosaka said, the Amiya house is built with all kinds of passages and corridors. One of the most notable examples of this is the various routes to the bathroom. You can get there from my room or the living room. I'm gonna just check one more time. Is there... Yeah, it's not letting me change the audience type. It says it's E for everyone, but this is not E for everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up. What is FSN Remaster rated? It's not telling me. ESRB. You're not telling me anything. Lovely. Okay. And it's not letting me... It's not letting me add a mature rating to this. So I guess it's not a mature game. I'm gonna It's not letting me change the audience type. Maybe it's because the stream's already started. I don't know. No, we're gonna have to play it by ear then. I forgot about this. I head into the bathroom. I don't like to use the dryer, so I'll just use the towel I used earlier to dry my hair. Okay, she's wearing a towel. It's fine. Dot dot dot. And in that moment, I forget everything that happened today. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Suppose you must be here to take another bath, but I am doing so at the moment. I would appreciate if you could wait until later. I need to explain myself. I need to explain this is all an accident, but my mind has gone completely blank. The sight in front of me is enough to erase everything that's happened today from my mind. Were you in the bath so long that all your blood rushed to your head? Even your ears are bright red. If you need to cool off, I suggest you head out onto the veranda. Oh yeah, I'll do that, but before I do, I should apologize. I avert my gaze from Saber and try to calm my pounding heart. This was an accident. Well, actually, there's not really much room for me to explain myself now, but we've actually run into each other like this, so go on. Get mad at me, Saber. I try to keep my eyes averted and calm myself down at the same time. Saber thinks for a while and then says, "Please, raise your head." I do as I'm told. Hey, wait, why are you still like that? You have nothing to apologize for. I wish to tell you that there is nothing for you to worry about, even having seen what you have. Come again? I've told you this before. Gender is meaningless to servants. Seeing my body may have made you panic, but as I have said, I am a servant before I am a woman, and such your consideration is unnecessary. What? What is Saber saying? Even if Saber insists, the fact of the matter is that she's a girl. But then again, I don't think it'd be the case, but could Saber be... Let me ask you something. Are you saying you're not the least bit embarrassed changing in front of me, Saber? Why should I be embarrassed about such a thing? I figured as much. It doesn't matter that Saber doesn't care, though. I really do. Sorry, just let me apologize. If something like this happens again, you can do whatever you want with me. I do a quick 180 and rush awkwardly out of the dressing room. Saber stares after me oddly as I leave. Okay, that was not as bad as the little preview image implied. We finished dinner. It was probably a typical dinner, except it didn't feel that way. I've lost my appetite since the incident in the bathroom. So cold. I had opened a window on the veranda to let outside wind to cool my head, but I need to stop. I'm going to catch a cold if I keep this up. Shiro, there you are. Did you have something? No, but I thought you did. I thought Rin promised to teach you magecraft tonight. Oh. I smacked my forehead. I completely forgot. Thanks, I'll head over there right away. I rush to the outbuilding and head upstairs. I knock on the door to the guest room that Tosaka has taken up occupancy in. I have my hands full, so just come in. It's fine. The Tosaka's voice sounds from inside the room, but she sounds a little unnerved. I walk in to see Tosaka holding a jewel in one hand, a syringe in the other, and a handkerchief in her mouth. I have questions, Tosaka. Hold on, I'm almost done with this. She sticks a needle into her arm as she speaks, her mouth full. She draws blood into the syringe. Tosaka slowly drips blood from the syringe onto the jewel, then grips it tightly. I suppose that is a better way than cutting a line on your hand. A wave of vertigo washes over me. I can tell it's a ripple of magical energy. Even after all that, it's only at 30%. Guess I'll have to make do with just the 9 I have. Tosaka slumps her shoulders in disappointment and puts the stone back into a jewelry box. I came here to learn from you, as promised. But before we get to that, I'm curious about what I just saw. Yes, I was waiting for you. You fortified your body with Saber during the day, right? Then we need to train your mind at night. Tosaka seems happy, ready to teach. Saber said she wasn't good at teaching, but I'm guessing this will be the total opposite. Anyway. So, what should we start with? You mentioned that you can only use strengthening magecraft. Actually, before we start, I need to know, or else it's gonna bother me. What the hell were you just doing? Sticking yourself with a needle is dangerous. Oh, Shiro. I was just making magic bullets. My family's style of magecraft uses the flow and conversion of power. Whenever I have time, I have transferred my magical energy into other objects. Wait, what are magic bullets, and what's the point of transferring magical energy? Magic bullets are exactly what they sound like. Bullets filled with magical energy. Have you ever heard stories where jewels contain human emotions and thoughts? Jewels in general can easily store magical energy, and it seems like my family has always been really well suited to the practice. If you don't do anything for, say, a day, you wind up with an excess of magical energy, so I put that extra energy into jewels. I repeat this for days, months, and even years, and that turns the jewels themselves into magecraft. The jewels obviously have limited capacity, and I can't control magical energy outside myself. The magic energy inside the jewels works like an ignition source to instantly activate a large-scale magecraft. So you're saying you filled these jewels with your own magical energy as backup? Backup like combat support? That's close, but not quite right. It's more like stuffing something into a disposable pack. So it's like you're temporarily expanding a computer hard disk. That's amazing. You'd be able to use as much magecraft as you want with that kind of skill. No idea what that is, but it's also not as great as you think. The moment I infuse the jewel with my magical energy, the magic energy is bound by the jewel's attributes, which limits how I can use it. Yeah, but magical energy never ceases to surprise me. I didn't know you could store it like that. Why don't other mages do something so useful? The ability to store magical energy in something outside yourself is unique. Even your strengthening magecraft involves infusing your magical energy into another object too, right? Things that pass magical energy typically change, using up that magical energy. The effects of magecraft are instantaneous and never permanent. What my family does is make it so that magic energy flows into jewels where they become permanent objects, but other mages can do something similar with their own bodies. That's what magic crests are, a kind of backup magecraft mages possess. Magic crests. Oh yeah, secrets that parents pass down to their children. I don't have anything like that, so I'm kinda clueless about them. Wait, what did you just say? Well, I just said I don't have a magic crest. My old man had one, but I didn't inherit it. Tosaka catches her breath, but then the next minute she seems to understand. No wonder you're such an amateur. So you really started from zero, then I guess there's no helping it. Haven't you known I don't have a magic crest for a long time now? Of course not. If I knew, I would have never let you go out and do stuff on your own. Sure, I know you weren't fully trained, but if you don't have a magic crest, then you aren't even a mage. She huffs and looks at me, seeming to be complaining. But what is this? Her voice sounds almost warm, like she's a little bit relieved, like she's jealous I'm not a mage. Well, whatever. This just means I have to teach you everything from scratch, but since you know what magic crests are, you know what a mage is. Okay, sit over there, Shiro. I need you to really pay attention because this is important stuff. Right here? Okay, go ahead. I brace myself and look straight at Tosaka. She nods approvingly, satisfied by my show of seriousness. I'll start with something simple. You already know that you need magical energy to use magecraft. You can actually refer to anything that can activate magecraft as magical energy. There are endless varieties of magical energy. Some may use magecraft via their own means, while some may do it by paying a price of some sort. You at least know that, right? Yeah, you're talking about mana and Ode. Mana is the magical energy that's found throughout the world, while Ode is the magical energy an individual can create themselves. Yep, good job. Let me start by explaining the types of magecraft that use mana. Listen, mages who don't have so much history like you can employ something that has already taken form to use magical energy. It's a method based on a long-established system of rituals using offerings to make contact with mystics. It's called formal craft, a negotiation technique where a mage prepares a compensation of sorts to make a deal with because their own power is insufficient. This way, even a caster with weak magical energy can use magecraft. They don't need to use their own magical energy because they're borrowing it from elsewhere, from mana, so the caster only has to perform a ritual. But you need knowledge to pull something like this off. You're not at the right level to do something like this. Besides, something reeking of blood probably wouldn't be your style anyway. She's talking about blood for Andromeda. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do stuff like sacrifice chickens or pray for a whole night inside a magic circle. Right. Then let's move on and talk about Ode, magecraft that uses the mage's own power. This probably doesn't bear much mentioning, but it's the basic method for using magecraft you and I practice. Your strengthening magecraft uses your own magic circuits without using anybody else's power, right? I nod. Seems she's getting into the nitty-gritty stuff now. Right. The magic circuits that function to create your own magical energy are a hereditary trait passed down through generations. Magic circuits are forged over many generations, get more powerful as they're passed down to the next generation, and so on. The child of a mage family is already fit to use magical energy because of this. It may not be fair, but you and I had different starting points. I know that. It doesn't bother me. Keep going. I wasn't too worried about that either. But whatever. Anyway, other than magic circuits, mage families also have secret magecrafts that they cultivate over generations. It's similar to my jewel you saw earlier, only once a certain magecraft is mastered, a mage can physically hold that magecraft. Do you know that feeling of getting a hold of magecraft, even though it's typically shapeless and simply devised? I don't, but I'm guessing it's like it becomes a part of your body. Bingo! Magecraft that goes beyond the normal principle and becomes a part of you, then becomes tangible. It's a feat that can authenticate an otherwise unstable magecraft, and at the same time it becomes a testimony of that mage's existence. And when a mage is on the brink of death, they pass down their great accomplishments to their successor in the form of a crest. It's their way of telling their successor to go further, to a place they were unable to reach, and that their crest may be of some use to them. Though to be honest, both the one handing down the crest and the one receiving it know it's of no help. What are you saying? That something so awesome is useless? It is useful. An ordinary mage would consider a single crest like a security blanket. It's that helpful. But then again, it's like getting a car. No matter how fast it is on the road, it's never going to take you to the moon. Just forget that part. Let's move on. You might know this already, but this crest is what's called a magic crest. The head of the mage family spends their entire life completing their magecraft and makes it into a crest to pass it down to their descendants, then the descendant completes another magecraft and adds it to the crest, which gets passed down to the next descendant. The magic crest gets more complex as it passes from generation to generation, but it's also a constraint mages can't escape. So what you're saying is that the entire history of a mage family is recorded in these magic crests. No, that's not it. Family records are recorded in books. Magic crests only contain magecraft. It can cast spells on its own, or it can let you use magecraft you haven't mastered yet. In simpler terms, it's like having magic circles engraved on your body. Then doesn't that mean you can engrave the crest onto anyone? If magic circles are all you need, then you can draw as many of them as you want as long as you know the shape. That's not how it works. Magic crests are like living things. It's more like transplanting an organ. There's only one organ, so you can't split it among other people or copy it. There's no point splitting a heart in half because it just stopped working, right? Oh yeah, you do have a point. Does that mean you also have a crest implanted in you too? Implanted is a pretty backwards way to put it, if I do say so myself. In my case, it's on my left arm and covers my entire arm from my shoulder to my hand. It doesn't show up as long as I'm not using it, so I don't have to hide it like with command spells. So that's why a mage family only has a single heir. If a family has multiple siblings, typically any not chosen to be the successor would not be taught magecraft and would instead live an ordinary life. The magic crest can't be passed down to them, so there's no point being a mage. Yeah, Shinji said that too. I get it, that's why Sakura wasn't taught any magecraft. Right, but the crest inheritance stopped a few generations ago in the Mato family, so I assume Shinji only learned about magecraft. Honestly, those are the most annoying sorts out there. They can't really feel what magecraft is, but they still try to use it. Well, that's what formal craft is, though. Tosaka sighs a deep breath, swearing quietly. Well, I was supposed to teach you magecraft, but we got a little sidetracked. I'll need to come up with a different approach now that I know you don't have a magic crest. Let's call it a night for now. I'll prepare some things for you tomorrow, so we'll do more then. I was really wondering if... So, Shiro... Hang on, I gotta drink. Shiro... So, from what I remember of Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro's magic circuits are not opened, essentially, and his mantra is he turns his spine into a single giant magic circuit every time he does magecraft. I was wondering if that would come up now, or if it's something that's going to come up in a future session here with Rin, or if it's something that's exclusive to Unlimited Blade Works, because if I remember the Heavensville movies correctly, now mind you, this is the movie, so a lot of it was abridged, I'm pretty sure that when something happens to Shiro that gives him a boost, I'm not going to say what because that's spoilers, that it awakens his magic circuits. I'll just have to trust you then. What do you mean by you're going to prepare things? I mean a lot of things. Since you have no crest, you don't have a switch. I'm going to go in and tamper with your body, so we'll need medicine and other tools. A chill runs down my spine. What? I'll stop if you don't want to do it, but if so, there won't be much I can teach you. Well, I don't want to, but I'm still going to ask you. Whatever you say is probably the right way to go. Then that's what we'll do tomorrow. Alright, are you planning on training with Saber tomorrow too? Well, yeah, I'm concerned about the bounded field over the school, but there's still some time left before it activates. I want to be at least able to fight by then. I see. Well, that it's important to me, but it seems like you and Saber aren't getting along. Well, that... You managed to talk normally before dinner, but you got all quiet at dinner. I just want to check, are you two getting along? If you two end up bickering during battle, I'm going to suffer the consequences too, you know? It's just that something happened right before dinner, and now things are awkward. That's all, but I'm not sure if Saber and I really are getting along. I think they're getting along. When I spent all day dueling her, I think I got a sense of what Saber is like. I trust Saber as an ally, no question about that. But if someone asked me how I feel about Saber in other senses, I wouldn't know how to answer. Because Okay, I was wondering if it was going to give me a choice. Lost all sense in that very moment. It's hard to say, but what about you, Tosaka? Do you like Saber? Oh, does she ever? I do. There's nothing about her I don't like, really. She's strong, polite, and pretty. A huge difference from my Mr. Cynic. I see, so you like Saber. What? All I said was I like more about her than I don't. Quit being so blunt or you'll make enemies. I refuse. I've never been good with words anyway. I figured as much. You're never sarcastic or cynical. I bet you think of me as loud and annoying. Why would I think like that? I like the way you say things. Otherwise, it wouldn't feel like it's really coming from you. What? Got the Tosaka blush. The soon is out. Crap. I might have struck a nerve. Tosaka turns away pouting. But I have to admit, I feel a little better, even happy, knowing that Tosaka likes Saber. Camaraderie! The day ends. I still feel uneasy with Saber sleeping so close by, so I escape to the shed. I stop and look up at the winter sky. Not because the night sky is particularly beautiful. I'm just feeling the winter chill in a daze, doing nothing because it calms me. I don't know how much time passed. I think I hear footsteps in the darkness. Who's there? There's no answer. Footsteps approach and I feel a piercing presence. I crouch ready to jump back at any time. I ask who's there. There's no answer. The footsteps never stop and the person finally appears before me. Archer. Okay, this is interesting. I don't know if they've ever had a non-hostile conversation. It's the servant who fought Lancer at school the other night. The red-armored knight Saber beat back when she leapt over the wall. Are you Tosaka's servant? Archer. The man's lips curve upward. He smiled. Can I take that as confirmation? Something about him annoys me. For no reason I can really understand, I find myself irritated. I can't make myself like this guy. I've never talked to him before and he's never attacked me before, but I realize something the instant I see his face. I can't respect this man. You can't respect yourself. That makes sense for Shiro Emiya. There's no reason for it that I can think of, but he and I aren't going to get along. I'm probably not the only one who feels like this. Archer probably feels the same way. There must be a total of 3 people in the world with whom I'm just completely incompatible. That's how bad it is. I wouldn't be surprised if he was irritable around me, too. What do you want? I thought you were just going to stay on guard until your wounds healed up. That is my intention. The moment my wounds heal, I'm putting an end to this ridiculous alliance the two of you formed. So I've remained a spectator all this time, since I believe there was nothing for me to say to you. Don't let me stop you from spectating, then. There's nothing I want to talk to you about, either. As much as I would like to do that, there's just one thing I cannot overlook. I hear you don't intend to let Saber fight. What's wrong with that? My reply is impulsive. He glares. With a fair amount of hostility, Archer makes it clear he sees right through me. I knew it. Only a brat would do something like that. You won't accept help from anyone. You'll just do everything yourself. On top of it all, you don't want any casualties. That mentality disgusts me. What? You have no right to tell me that. I'm only doing what I think is right. You have no reason to complain. I do, actually. As a fellow servant, I understand Saber's hardship. Saber has a heavy weight to carry with a master like you. He's not lying. But what really ticks me off is that I didn't want to hear it from him, of all people. Screw you. I'm not a burden to Saber. I'm gonna fight in her place, so there shouldn't be a problem. Are you saying she won't get hurt as long as she doesn't fight? Servants only exist to fight. Forbidding her to fight is blasphemous, though I doubt there's any point telling you that. Having said what's on his mind, Archer falls silent. A few minutes pass. The two of us just stare at each other. ... I gulp. His cold stare seems to be trying to probe my insides. Very descriptive there, Shiro. Very descriptive. Hang on, I gotta check something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've only got 6. Yeah, that's not enough to max limit break be worth it. And then suddenly... So, what's your plan, Master of Saber? The Red Knight seems as calm as he asks his question. What do you mean? Do you really expect to end this war without fighting? Do you really think you'll never kill or fight anyone? It was fight or kill, but kill or fight flows a little better. Never said I won't fight. I'll fight if I need to fight. I see. But you won't kill anyone when you fight. Yeah, got a problem with that. I have no intention of butting into your moronic reason for doing what you do. I don't have the time, and I'm just not crazy enough to try. Trying to get into Shiro Emiya's head is insane, even when you are Shiro Emiya. Archer turns his back to me. Don't get things confused, though. This champion of justice you're pretending to be, nothing more than a cleaner. You should know only the survivor is going to have a chance to save anyone that way. ... I don't know why, but it feels like Archer was just beating up on me for no reason. You think? Wait, what do you mean a champion of justice is just a cleaner? You should have figured it out by now. Listen, your approach won't undo a tragic death. That's the limitation you're working within. A champion of justice is someone who can only clean up a mess that's already been made. You'll never be able to save the very people you're hoping to save. Okay, so what he's trying to say, he's essentially saying what Kirei said in a different way. You can't be a hero or champion of justice, I guess is the proper translation, without there being a tragedy in the first place. And if there's a tragedy, you cannot undo what caused the tragedy. So it's sort of a catch-22. That's not true. The idea that you can't save the person you're reaching out to save is wrong. And of course, Shiro completely misinterprets it. An ideal is just that, an ideal. As long as you hold on to that ideal, the friction between it and reality will only get more intense. That's the path you're on right now. Someday you're going to face reality and you'll have to pay the price. The choices you've made will cost many, many lives. What? You should at least be prepared. By the time you realize how narrow-minded you've been, you'll only have to figure out how to fix it, and who to punish for it. If you can't do that, then I suggest you abandon both your dream and your magecraft right now. Archer disappears into the darkness. I thought he was an archer, not an assassin. Listen, no matter what anyone does, there will always be those who can't be saved. All your ideal will let you save is the ideal itself. There is so little a human can do. But even so... Hey, wait, what the hell are you trying to say? He's trying to say, don't walk down the path you're walking, Shiro. Gosh, it's simple enough. My question is swallowed up by the darkness. That's not how sound works. Archer is already gone, and I'm just talking to empty air. What the hell's with him? He just showed up, unloaded a bunch of crap on me, and disappeared. He was telling me that my thinking is too idealistic, and I'm going to suffer for it soon. But how can I decide something is wrong before I've even tried it? Okay, that is such a bad thought process. How can I know if something is wrong before I've tried it? Oh, I don't know. Murder is wrong, but you've certainly never tried it, Shiro. So many things are commonly accepted as wrong, and you do not need to try them to verify that they are wrong. I'm ready. If I'm wrong, I'll just have to pay for that mistake with my life, or somebody else will pay with that mistake with their life. That's my resolve as a mage. Archer doesn't have to remind me of that. I really can't stand that guy. But something he said bothers me. No matter what anyone does, there will always be those who can't be saved. There's so little a human can do. But even so can I keep pursuing my ideal without ever looking back. I muttered to myself. I felt that's what Archer wanted to say. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. Save the game, yes. We will overwrite this one, I think. Yeah. Overwrite that one, and then I want to see if I missed any branches here due to previous dialogue choices, because we've already had that happen once. So we are moving on to February the 7th, the 8th day. Sword and Magic 2. I wonder how many days there are. I truly do. Okay, so show me the flowchart. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 choices up ahead. Okay, yeah. We have not missed any choices here, and now that I've seen the actual scene, I can see why that image on the far left there is more innocent than I may thought. See you, Shiro. I'll bring you something home, so be good. Fujini waves as she heads out for work. I'm gonna get going too. I need to swing by home, so I'll be a little late. I should be back by dinner, though. Don't do anything rash while everyone's gone. Alright, then. It's 7:30 in the morning. I see the two of them off without incident, so there's only one thing left to do now. Okay, we're gonna continue where we left off yesterday. Let's head to the dojo, Saber. Oh? Are we going to be training right away? You have just eaten. Perhaps it would be best to wait for a while. Don't worry about that. I've trained myself to the point where stuff like that doesn't affect me. And today's breakfast was bread, right? I don't live an unhealthy lifestyle for something like that to affect me. Wow, Shiro. Wow, calling people out. Well, if you insist, I do not mind. Good, then. Let's just go. I spent all night coming up with ways to get at least one hit in, so I want to show you the fruits of my labors. And he didn't land a single blow. I'm unable to dodge Saber's counterattack. Both the Shinai and I tumble to the ground. My fingers tingle where they grip the Shinai. Saber's counterattack lands as I lunge in with all my might. I figured out brute force was my only option. No shock that I dropped my Shinai and fell right on my ass after an attack like that. Damn, I thought that would work. Shiro, your expectations were unrealistic. Listen, you will not be able to defeat a servant simply by acting out of desperation. It is one thing to be determined, but you must first consider your opponent. That may be true, but I'll lose if I stay on the defensive. I have to strike if I find an opening. That is true, but you do not understand how to properly utilize that opportunity. If you are to strike so desperately, you must wait for an appropriate opportunity. That goes without saying. I saw you looking away for a brief second that last time. I've only seen you that maybe one other time, so I thought it was my chance. I applaud you for noticing that and deciding to act, but I looked away deliberately. I did so thinking it would be sufficient to prompt you to move. I did not expect you to charge straight at me. That's pretty mean, Saber. You shouldn't mock amateurs like that. I was not mocking you. It was simply a ploy, creating an opening such as it carries with it a degree of risk. So this feels like it is the basis for Emiya's style, Archer Emiya, because from what I can recall, his style is full of intentional openings that he knows the perfect counter for, depending on who he's facing. However, the risk I take by looking away and the risk you take by charging straight at me are simply not comparable. So what you're saying is that I should be less obvious about seeking an opportunity. If I make a big obvious attack, I'm squandering the opportunity. So you're saying I should consider the opportunity and acting to suit it. Yes, you must learn to judge the value of the opportunity you have. However, I must point out that you are much better at discerning the boundaries between life and death than yesterday. As you develop a sense of danger, you will become more able to determine when to fight and strike on your own. Geez, isn't that something to be able to know? Man, as you get better at sensing how much of an ass whooping you're gonna get, you'll be able to better determine when to and when to not jump in for that ass whooping. Essentially, Saber looks pleased. Unless it's my imagination, she seems happy to see her student improving a bit. It is almost time to rest. Shall I fetch you some water, Shiro? No need. As long as it's just water, I filled a whole kettle, so I'll just drink from that. A whole kettle. I drag my fatigued body towards the wall. After wiping myself with a towel I brought along, I take several gulps from the kettle. Whew. Hang on. I take a deep breath. It's been almost 3 hours since I saw Tosaka and Fujini off, and I've spent every minute of it sparring with Saber. As usual, Saber doesn't explain much, and I don't ask her any questions while we cross swords. I have pretty much no chance of winning, but I do seem to be moving better the more I fight Saber. I'm not expecting to improve my fighting techniques. The point here is to train my body, not my mind, to get accustomed to battle. It's better than doing nothing, and since I'm starting from basically nothing, there wouldn't be much point here unless I spent time working on this one thing. If all I do is think about how to fight when the time comes for me to face a master, I'm dead. Saber just doesn't even break a sweat, huh? I'm a little disappointed, but I shouldn't expect to be on her level in just a day or two. And just like yesterday, Saber rests seated in a Saiza position. It'd be a waste to just sit here. I may as well take the opportunity to talk with her. Okay, then. Wow, okay. Wow. So, either some of these questions... I mean, obviously we want to know more about Saber before she became a servant, because the secret blade technique for dummies is idiotic to ask. But there's supposed to be 6 options here. And we only have 2 choices. So either these are all different choices for at different points in the fate route, or like based on different choices you made previously in the fate route, which might affect things, or more likely than not, they are choices for different routes. Like Unlimited Blade Works might have 2, Heaven's Feel might have the other 2. But Secret Blade Technique for Dummies is the worst question to ask here. So let's ask more about Saber from before she became a servant. Isn't this... I feel like this is a continuation from the previous day as well. Was this not an option then? I guess our bond must have deepened with her, so... More about Saber before she became a servant. Before she became a servant, I wonder what Saber was like when she was alive. Saber's so beautiful, so I'm sure everyone must have liked her. Calling her Saber is what's throwing me off, but I bet she was an ordinary girl who never held a sword back. Shiro, Emiya, you are sexist. So, Saber, what were you like before? I'm so curious, I just blurt out what's on my mind without thinking, or even realizing I'm doing it. Come again. Did you say something, Shiro? That's nothing. I was just imagining what you're like. I'm not trying to find out your true name or anything, but I just wanted to know what your life was like. What kind of person I was? You're interested in the strange things, Shiro. You can just ignore the question if you don't want to answer. It just kind of popped into my head. I know you're Saber, a servant, but I just thought you might have been a completely different person before you became a servant. That's right. I imagine she lived a peaceful life as befits a lovely girl like her. I do not think that is true. One's personality does not change just because they become a servant. I was a knight who was handed a sword the moment I was born. There was never any other me, as you might have imagined. Seriously? Then you've always been so harsh? That's no good. I kind of sympathize with the people who were around you. What do you mean by that? I may be stern, but I do not recall being harsh to those around me. That can't be true. Today's training taught me you're merciless. Look at this welt. I make one tiny mistake, and you happily drive in at every opportunity, you demon. I did not do it happily. It may be tough on you, but it wouldn't be training if it were not strict. This is strange. I somehow never expected Saber to make a face like that. What's that look? I believe it's unfair for you to suddenly fall silent. I never thought you would get mad like that, so you just kind of surprised me. Is that so? I thought I was only asserting my point. Yeah, but you're not usually so emotional, so that was new to me. Do you really think so? I'm simply expressing what I believe. But those aren't your feelings. They're your beliefs. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that you never speak straight from the heart. Of course not. What is required from me is not my own personal opinion, but rather my opinion based on standing and position. That is true even now. I am a servant, a saber, and I will protect Shiro. There is no point in my saying anything unconnected with my purpose. And there's no sense in me thinking otherwise. That may be true, but it would be boring for you. You might have a role to fill, but that doesn't mean you have to devote yourself to that and nothing else. There are things you want to do, too, right? As I said, my job is to protect you. You are inexperienced as a master to begin with, and so I'm attempting to train you because you stubbornly insist you wish to fight in spite of my warnings. That might not be entirely true, but, well, if you say so, I guess it's okay. I feel like this conversation has softened Saber up a bit. She even looks more cheerful now. So as to not ruin the moment, I decide to not press the matter. Wow, Shiro, no retrospection on the fact that you were wrong about her? The next thing I know, it's noon. It would seem to be lunchtime, Shiro. Yeah, it is. Both our stomachs growl in agreement. Let's see. Is there anything you'd like to eat, Saber? Not in particular. I've been satisfied with each meal you have prepared thus far. That's a new Saber expression. Saber puts it kind of oddly. Well, at least she's not picky like Tosaka. I'll go do a bit of shopping. I'll probably come back at the same time as yesterday, so rest in the living room until then. Yes, I will be waiting, Shiro. I wonder if we're going to have another run-in with Ilya. I decided to try making shrimp balls for lunch. I've always wanted to try making them at home. They'll be piping hot balls of ground shrimp, a little bigger than takoyaki. Bought some mustard, and I'm all set with snacks for our 3 o'clock snack time. I load my purchases onto my bike. That reminds me, I met Ilya here yesterday. Hey, he's calling it out too. She's not here today. Well, she probably shouldn't be coming here every day. Somehow, not seeing her is disappointing, though. I haven't told Saber or Tosaka about meeting Ilya yesterday. She didn't confront me as an enemy, and I'm hesitant to tell them about her in the first place. Just because she was here yesterday doesn't mean she'll show up today. So I really should get on my bike and... Oh. Interesting. I was not expecting. This has an affection score applied to it. It's not showing who for. So, that was one of the choices there. And then there's all this here. I was not expecting a split decision right afterwards. Okay. So, our decisions here are to go straight home to the Emiya house, or to swing by the park. This is an affection up scene, apparently, so the way I can see this playing out is in two ways. First way, we swing by the park, Ilya is there, and we deepen our bond with Ilya. The only issue that I have with this is the meta-knowledge that I know there is no Ilya route. I don't know what kind of role Ilya plays in the Fate route, but, I mean, she has roles in Unlimited Blade Works and in Heaven's Feel. So her having a role in the Fate route would be a little strange, I feel. So, swing by the park, there is a chance Ilya is there, which would mean Ilya interaction and raising Ilya's affection. But if Ilya's not there, and that is a possibility, because if I remember, yesterday in game, Ilya had snuck out of the house, and her guardians, I cannot remember their names, their weird names. Excuse me. Her guardian, the maid guardians, sort of caught on to the fact that she snuck out. So there is a chance that she did not sneak out today, and she won't be at the park. Which would mean swinging by the park would be a nothing choice. Or it could be somebody else is at the park. Heading straight home, meanwhile, we would be getting the snack straight to Saber. We did see that Saber expression that was different, where she seemed happy about eating the food Shiro makes. And based on all the previous knowledge of Fate, where Saber was an unrepentant, that was proven false, where Shiro Emiya is the best thing to ever enter a kitchen since Gordon Ramsay, and Saber is a bottomless hole for food. That feels like it would boost Emiya's, or our relationship with Saber. Emiya's relationship with Saber. So because this is the Fate route, I think I'm going to go straight home to the Emiya house, because I feel like swinging by the park will be nothing. There will be nothing there. It could be a dead end. I will admit, it could be a dead end, but I'm not trying to hit all the dead ends. Except for the obvious ones. Like, if it's a subtle dead end, then I'm going to miss it, but the obvious ones, I might run to those. But I think I'm going to go straight home to the Emiya house. Go straight home. Saber is looking forward to lunch, and I'm really not in any position to make a detour. I don't have the time. Good decision. Make it straight home. So I make the shrimp balls one of my specialties. Where was it? I want to try making shrimp balls for lunch. I've always wanted to try making them at home. I make shrimp balls. One of my specialties. Which is it, Shiro? Which is it? Is it a specialty, or is it something you've never made at home before? Make up your mind, man. It's not really a proper meal. If anything, it's more like a snack to have with alcohol or something. But I learned to make it while working at an izakaya bar. I do not know how to pronounce that. I guess that explains. Never mind. This is very hot. Saber tries to put the fried ball, which is between the size of a golf ball and a tennis ball, into her mouth. Saber, do you not like hot foods, or do you not like foods that look so crude? No, neither is the issue. The dish being served so hot is interesting, and while the flavor seems simple, I can still tell care and effort went into its making. Yeah? Well, I'm glad you liked it. Yes, it's a shame that we cannot share this with Rin and Taiga. Saber continues eating in silence. There would probably be a lot more shrimp balls if Taiga was joining. She's eating more than usual, so I figure she worked up an appetite training me this morning. This may not be very manly, but I really like having people eat food I prepare. All the more so when they say it's delicious. Dude, that's plenty manly. I'm a poor excuse for a master, so if I can do something like this to make Saber happy, I should work harder on my cooking. Huh? Saber's staring intently at her empty plate. If it's not enough, I can make more. No, I've enjoyed plenty. I'm not saying I did not have enough. Again, that expression of Saber. Oh, really? Let's have our after-meal tea. I'll go make it real quick, so wait here. Here comes the glutton, Saber, I think. I pick up the empty plates and head to the kitchen. After I put the dirty dishes in the sink, I put the kettle on to get the tea started. Oh hey, how about we try a different tea? I stick my head out from the kitchen, but then I hear something. This is becoming a problem. Shiro's cooking is just too delicious. If he were to stop cooking, I may find my will to fight slipping. I'm still too soft. I've experienced this many times in the past, but I had no idea starvation tactics could be so terrifying. Okay. I take back what I just said. Time to stop putting so much effort into my cooking. If I make my meals more elaborate, she might end up making me her personal cook. Yep, too much of a good thing doesn't help anyone. Hey, that's some nice little bonding. That was a funny little moment. We finish eating lunch and then continue our training in the afternoon. I keep crossing blades with Saber, never getting tired of it. You know, Shiro, I'm surprised that you don't want to be Saber's personal cook. It would keep her off the battlefield. We keep training and only plan to stop when Tosaka and Fujini come home. But our training is interrupted by the sound of the doorbell. It appears you have a visitor. Yeah, I heard it. I'm going to go get the door, so you stay here, Saber. No, it could potentially be an unwanted visitor, so I will accompany you, just in case. Saber has a point, but while she's right, if the visitor is just a neighbor, they might get suspicious of Saber. The neighbors do think I'm the only one living here. Then again, I guess I'll deal with that if it happens. Sakura and Fujini already come and go freely, so there's no point in me worrying about the neighbors. Dude, if your house is as big as a hotel, you don't have to worry about your neighbors. Alright, come with me then, Saber. But if the visitor is just an ordinary person, keep quiet. I know, I'm supposed to be your distant relative, correct? Yep, that's our story. Not a good story. It's a very distant relative. Okay, I'm coming. I rush to the entrance amid the sounds of incessant ringing. Pardon my intrusion, but I heard you were not feeling well, so I came to visit Emiya. Oh. It's not an enemy or a neighbor. It's a friend from school. It's just you, Issei. Sorry about the crumpling sound. I'm crushing a water bottle. That's a pretty rude greeting. Is that really how you should receive a friend visiting out of concern for you? Even as Issei complains, he hands me a paper bag. What's this? Apples? Get well soon gift. Considering you hardly ever catch a cold and skip school, I thought I should at least bring something to make you feel better. I'm grateful as concerned, but unfortunately I didn't take a day off because I'm sick. Besides, a bag full of apples doesn't seem appropriate for a young guy like him to bring as a get well soon gift. What's wrong, Emiya? Did you not like fruit? No, I do. It's a little complicated, but I really appreciate the sentiment. I bowed him to show my appreciation. This may be a silly question, but who is the woman standing behind you? Saber's standing just behind me. Oh, I get it. Issei must have locked eyes with Saber when I bowed to him. I've not seen her before. Why is a woman like her at your house? Issei gazes intently at Saber. He's extremely shy and always cold to new people and people he doesn't like. Well, her name's Saber, and I'm Shiro's distant relative. I got to know the former master of this house, Kiritsugu, when he was visiting overseas. I came here the other day to do some sightseeing, and I was allowed to stay here given my connections with the family. Saber makes the story sound pretty convincing. That's charisma for you. So you're an acquaintance of Emiya's father. I see. I hear he loved traveling, so it's no surprise he befriended someone like you in his travels. Completely glossing over the relative part. Issei, who's supposed to be extremely bashful around strangers, accepts the story so easily. I see. I understand the situation now, Emiya. Your sickness was just an excuse. You've been showing her around, haven't you? Yeah, let's say that. Well, in broad terms, nothing I've said is entirely untrue. I think. Then you won't mind if I come in. Go prepare some tea for me in appreciation for what you've done here. I'd also be happy to tell you about what has happened the past 2 days at school. Wow, bossy. Issei takes off his shoes and steps in the house. What do you mean in appreciation? I'm still kind of busy, you know. We can chat another time. What are you talking about? You were the one who abandoned your bike outside of our place. Alright, I did leave a bike up in Ryoto Temple. Right, and I brought back your bike. I'm busy as well, and yet I didn't go to the student council room. Instead, I went straight home, then brought your bike back here. Are you saying you can't even offer me some tea after that? He did do me a favor. I might have 3 bikes, but out of the 3, the one I left at Ryoto Temple is the most expensive, and my favorite. Sorry, Saber, can we take a little break? Saber nods silently. Thanks. Then you and Issei can head to the living room. I'll prepare some tea. Japanese tea for Issei, black tea for Saber. Am I also joining? I do not think of this as that is appropriate. Surely you would not be able to have a casual conversation with your friend from school if I am present. That's not true. Right, Issei? Girls may be chatty, but I do not mind you, Saber. A woman as humble as you is a precious asset, like cultural heritage. Hear that? Okay, so go on ahead. Humble. Saber. Yes, I understand, but I see why Shiro is a bit of, bit sexist. What? Is something else bothering you? If you are prepared tea, I would like Japanese tea as well. I do not mind green tea. Saber is fairly opinionated for some reason. It's odd hearing her say that in her usual tone. Excuse me. She wants green tea because it matches her eyes, man. After about an hour of meaningless chatter, Issei decides to head home. Most of the small talk in the living room was about school, and I asked him a few sly questions to find out if anything unusual was going on, but it seems like business as usual. I'll see you. Will you be absent tomorrow too, Emiya? Yeah, I'm not going to school this week. Saber needs to be with me tomorrow too. Well, it shouldn't be much of an issue if you are with her. There are a few suspicious aspects to this, but I've elected not to ask about any of it. Issei nods as if satisfied. Now that I think about it, how could such a shy guy warm so quickly and easily to Saber? For this being your first time meeting Saber, you seem to be in a good mood. What's up with that? What a strange thing to ask. I grew up in a temple, so is it really odd for me to be able to see the good and bad in someone? I do not know her background, but I saw her spirit and soul are pure. She cannot possibly be a bad person. Josh, it's possible. I didn't know you could do that kind of thing. I'm impressed. A little impressed. Only a little bit. I normally can't, but even an amateur like me can tell when her spirit is on full display like that. Even a monk in training will notice the holy presence of divinity standing right beside them. Simply put, Saber is just that beautiful and pure. Well, that's rare. Issei's praising a girl. Got it. So you've taken a liking to Saber too. That's good. I was worried Issei wouldn't like her because all she did was listen to us talking. Of course, she's a good person. It would be hard to dislike her. Yeah, and I know she's a good person. Even if she might be a bit aloof, Saber's always like that, so don't take that to mean she doesn't like you, Issei. Yeah. Yeah, she's aloof. Yeah, I've never seen her laugh before, and even when you and I were laughing pretty hard, she just kept looking stern. Actually, she was smiling pretty often. Huh? Wow, Shiro, someone's observant, huh? That's ridiculous. Sure, I've seen the occasional warm expression on Saber's face, but I've never seen her actually smile or laugh before. You're kidding me. I can't imagine seeing Saber laughing out loud. No, it's not like that. She was smiling when she saw you smile. Didn't you notice? Huh? She was smiling when she saw me laugh. Was she doing that to make fun of me? Interesting. That's a pretty strange interpretation. But you know what? You really shouldn't worry yourself over something like that. Everything begins with questioning yourself. Issei, priest son that he is, ends with his usual catchphrase and leaves my house laughing. I don't think he's ever done that before, so you cannot say that's a usual catchphrase. What's with him? He leaves me with his cryptic comments. Idiot, at least he could have said goodbye. The sun is setting, so today's training ends. I'm practically at my limit, and I still have magecraft lessons from Tosaka tonight. I failed to land a blow on Saber like I'd hoped, but I should save at least some energy for tonight. Some. It's also my turn to prepare dinner tonight. Saber went to wash up after me, so she won't be back for a while. I'm home. Oh, I see you're making dinner, Shiro. Good, good. Admirable. Fujini bursts into the living room, practically a bundle of energy, and immediately dives onto a cushion on the floor. Unlike Saber, who needs to sleep over half the day, Fujini is like this all day, every day. I bet it's no different when she's asleep. Can I have this apple? She's holding one of the many apples on the table. Sure, there are a bunch, as you can see. Everyone should eat 3 a day. That's a bit much. Really? Then let's make an apple pie. And by we, I mean you. Fujini takes a casual bite of the apple as she makes her suggestion. I'd put some apples I'd already washed out on the table, but I guess she's not the sort to care. What a waste of a get-well gift. Misunderstanding or no, shouldn't she be a little more considerate about a gift a friend gave me out of concern? For once I should give her a piece of my mind. Random choice? A very random choice here. Not missing anything. And there's no affection modifier to this. I don't know why my mouse is on. When was the last time I had a choice like this that was straightforward, just a split decision? It tends to lead to bad ends. Or unknowns. Huh. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. So, misunderstanding or no, shouldn't she be a little more considerate about the gift a friend gave me out of concern? For once I should give her a piece of my mind. So, don't worry about the apple. So, where's my gift, actually? Let's start from the top and work our way down, rather than start from the bottom and work our way up. So, Fujini, where's my gifts? So, that could be a way to imply to Taiga that the apples are a gift. It could start a conversation thread there that Issei dropped by. Why this is enough to be a choice, I don't know. She's actually forcing me to make a pie. I should hide out for a while. She doesn't seem like she's forcing anything, though. That feels like a cowardly option. Like, it's just Shiro avoiding any interactions. So it might just be a straight skip the next scene and go straight to dinner. Excuse me. And don't worry about the apples. Fujini eats some tangerines. Tangerines are, if I remember correctly, something she eats a lot. But something that has occurred to me. The reason this might be a choice. We know that Ryoto Temple, where Issei lives, is host to Castor. Castor is a mage. I was going to say something with the whole, like, when the whole apple situation was brought up. This very much feels like the Snow White situation where there's a cursed apple or something. So, the question now is, she's already started eating the apples. If she does not eat the apples. So let's think of this in the way of one or more of these apples are cursed. Fujini, where's my gift, implies that this was a gift from Issei to us, and it might get her to stop eating the apples. Forcing me to make the pie, I should hide out for a while. She will likely eat all of the apples, and if one of the apples is poisoned or cursed, that would be the end of Fujini. Or it could lead to something like a betrayal later on down the line. Don't worry about the apples, eat some tangerines. I feel like that would also be similar to she's going to force me to make a pie. We are essentially, this one we are taking a passive approach, and we can't blame ourselves if she eats the apples. This one we're taking an active approach, we're goading her, and she will eat the apples. Again, this is all assuming the apples, one or more of them, are poisoned / cursed. So, I don't know. It's just a very strange option of choice. It could also be a way to show that Shiro is growing as a person. Is he going to be more assertive? Is he going to be more passive? Is he going to be more dismissive? It could be that point of view as well. It could be a way to help further define future Shiro Emiya choices. This honestly might be a choice that unlocks something further in the future. And if that logic, it's assertive, passive, or dismissive. Or rather, evasive. Assertive, passive, evasive. And this is the Fate route. It's the Shiro Saber route. Saber is stubborn. Shiro is stubborn. I think we go stubborn. I stop preparing for dinner and take off my apron. By the time I've washed my hands and made it to the living room, Fujini's apple is gone. Did you eat the apple? Yep, it was nice and sweet. Tart, too. Glad to hear that. Then it's your turn. I'll take whatever you got me in exchange for what you just ate. Huh? What I got you? Like the tangerine? I'm not going to ask how you arrived at that conclusion. I'm just asking you to show me what you got for me today. I hope you didn't forget what you said this morning as you were leaving. How rude. Of course I didn't forget. See, I have it right here. Fujini drops a suspicious-looking paper bag on the table and its contents spill out. Well, that's unexpected. I actually have trouble believing Fujini managed to remember a promise she made. What even is that? I feel like this isn't anything I would... No matter how I look at it, it looks like just a mound of trash. Well, a mound of stuffed toys. This Aztec stone mask for you, Shiro. Your room's pretty sparse, so I thought it might liven things up a bit. She hands me a heartwarming but somewhat scary-looking sun mask. It's about the size of a handball and stuffed with cotton. Were these all from a crane game? Yep, I worked real hard trying to get them. I spent 2 hours, and in the end, a worker took them out for me. She's laughing bashfully, but I'm scared to think how much blood was shed in the process. So there's also the Chinese dragon, a bat, a crab, a cow, a rhinoceros, a snake, and a soldier. Fujini gleefully sorts out the pile of stuffed toys. Maybe this was just a no-nonsense choice and I just overthought it. A view spill off the table and the living room quickly grows cluttered with them. It's messy, but Fujini seems to be enjoying herself, so I don't have the heart to stop her. Fine, I'll take them. I want you to clean up after organizing them. Yep, I know. I turn back to the kitchen, the stuffed toy in hand. And then... I see Saber at the entrance of the living room. She must have just passed by. She looks irritated. Saber doesn't say a thing, she just glares into the living room. Did you take your bath already? Yes, it was very nice. After answering my question, Saber heads into the living room, almost like a sleepwalker. She walks towards the table and stops abruptly in front of one of the stuffed toys. Taiga, is this doll supposed to be a lion? Yeah, it looks like it. That's supposed to be a baby lion. Saber stares silently at the stuffed animal. Is this doll yours, Taiga? Like those other dolls. They are. Do you want one, Saber? You can have one if you like. Fujini's offer is made with a light-hearted smile. Well, what the heck is Fujini thinking? Saber's obviously in a bad mood, so why is Fujini asking something so ridiculous? Besides, there's no way Saber would want something like that. Do you want it? I don't really have any use for it, so you're welcome to it, Saber. Fujini picks up the stuffed lion, not noticing Saber's distaste. Saber takes it, and... if I may... she hurries forward and takes it eagerly. Drink real quick. My mind locks up. What the hell am I seeing? Saber takes the completely useless doll and clutches it against her chest as if it was precious. I appreciate it. Thank you, Taiga. It's fine. It's not a tiger. It's a bit of a weird thing to throw out there, Fujini. But this is a prize. I didn't know you liked this kind of thing, Saber. Yes, I've always longed for small, cute things. I had precious few opportunities to hold such things. As she speaks, Saber looks down at the stuffed lion in her arms. How could I describe her face right now? What was that? I just had the weirdest thought. Do you like the lion, Saber? Are we rivals? Saber silently nods in affirmation, all while she continues to smile down at the stuffed animal. It's not that I like lions, but I do have a connection with them. I once took care of a lion cub, and I remember it being so happy that it bonded with me. Since then, I've had a special place for lions in my heart. By nature, I'm associated with dragons. Lion cub? Aren't lion cubs like cats? Doesn't that mean they bite, scratch, and jump? Yes, it was certainly energetic. I only took care of it for 1 month, but I would have liked to care for it till the end. I see, but it's tough. Lions get really big, so you can't take care of one in an ordinary house, so you had no choice but to let it go. Fujini nods in her understanding. Saber's still looking at the stuffed lion. Also, Fujini completely glossed over the fact that Saber's normally associated with dragons. I'm not sure what kind of spell it cast on her. I didn't know that about Saber with a lion cub. Also, do lion cubs normally have 4 there? Because that looks weird. But something I shouldn't know or be able to see flashes through my mind. How many toes does a lion have? They do! Okay. Didn't realize that. I did not realize that lions had, 5 toes. I guess a lion's paw is bigger than a cat paw, so it has to be some kind of dizzy spell. But I can't shake the image. It's one of her memories. This is something that really happened. I see an image of Saber rubbing her cheek against a cub, but I'm not sure if this is just some fleeting vision. The only thing I know is that I would regret shaking off the sight of it. The strange vision immediately disappears. My heart is still racing. The vision I glimpsed remains in my head like a scar that will never fade. Excuse me. So that was interesting. That led to an unexpected moment. I'm almost curious. It didn't lead to a boost of bond with Saber? Interesting all the same. I finished preparing dinner. It's past 7. Saber and Fujini are in the living room, and Tosaka, who's usually here by now, isn't. I hope nothing's happened to her. I don't think Tosaka is the type to get in trouble, but I also know she sometimes makes huge mistakes. Guess I'll go check it out. If it's just looking around the house, I should be fine alone. I head out to the hallway. As I'm about to leave the house, Tosaka walks in wearing her coat. Hey, easy search. I'm home. What, greeting me with your apron on? It's a good look on you. Good look for you. Tosaka jokes casually, but her face is completely expressionless. That's scary. The people who can joke like that with a straight face are the most terrifying sort of people. What were you... The moment I try to ask her what happened, I spot blood on her hand. Oh. It's a small blood stain and her index finger is swollen. Does that mean... I have a bad feeling and I can't keep it quiet. What? I'm not listening if it's stupid. Actually, did you maybe punch someone today? Bingo. I give that annoying Shinji a piece of my mind at the end of my fist. Nice. Tosaka huffs and passes right by me. Dot dot dot. Okay, she gave him a knuckle sandwich. Then the blood stain and the swollen finger would make sense. Hey, wait! Hold up. What do you mean you hit Shinji, Tosaka? Why are you interrogating me about this? He pissed me off, so I beat him to a pulp. To a pulp? You mean with your fists? You did it with your bare fists. Bare as can be. Bare like a grizzly. Tosaka snorts again. A brief silence. I don't know what to say, so I keep my mouth shut. An awkward silence stretches between us. Let me get back to the point. You said you punched Shinji. Why did you have to do that? He deserved it. He was saying things like I should team up with him and that I should abandon Shiro because he's useless. He wanted to talk to me about a bunch of stupid stuff, so I had to quiet him down by punching him. Seems like a little bit excessive force there. Isn't that straight short-sighted even for you, Tosaka? Or maybe Shinji said something so stupid that he actually pissed Tosaka off, even though she's usually so level-headed. Why are you looking at me like that? I'm the victim here. I think it goes both ways. But why would Shinji talk to you about something like that? He asked me if I wanted to team up with him. Who knows? He might actually think of you as competition. He's been acting pretty weird ever since I told him we were living together. What? You told him we were living together? You told Shinji about us? Of course I did. Yesterday morning, Shinji called me up to tell me all proud about how he became a master like some sort of hotshot. That kind of pissed me off, so I told him you were a master too. I thought that put him in his place, but then I found him waiting outside the house just now. So I told him I'm living at your house and that I had no intention of working with a half-assed master like him. Do you think that was bad? Yeah, that was pretty bad. Shinji was already smitten with Tosaka, so what she told him is just adding fuel to the fire. Poor Shiro. Ignorant Shiro. He does not realize just how far the depths of Shinji goes. Well, but still, now it all makes sense. I figured out why Shinji's been hostile only towards Tosaka, and why he's been so persistent about asking her to team up with him. Meaning he. That's strange. Why would he be so obsessed with me? A guy like him would never think about working with anyone. Actually, it's because Rin is special to Shinji. Nothing strange about any of this. I think you're special to Shinji. He's originally from a mage family, right? I think he admires you since you're also from a mage family, but you still have power and proper lineage. That's why he's so persistent with Tosaka. I think Rin's been a target for Shinji's affections since long before the Holy Grail War started. What? Well, yeah, I'm flattered that he likes me, but... It must have been a real surprise. Tosaka looks completely bewildered. Now that you mention it, Shinji asked me out when we were first years. For a moment, her expression as she realizes what she'd obviously forgotten is almost comical. I sympathize with Shinji. Just now. Well, no wonder he's so persistent. I finally get it. Oh, whatever. So, how did you reply? Oh, I guess I rejected him. I'll have you know that I have to be the first to win. If I'm going to do something, it needs to be my own idea. And if someone challenges me to something, I don't really feel up to it. Tosaka thinks real hard, but she's acting as if she doesn't remember. I'm astonished. She might be entirely driven by her emotions. I bet you're really bad at rock, paper, scissors. What? How do you know that? I knew it. If she likes to make the first move, she's probably not great when she has to react to someone else. All prep, no react. Use the soy sauce for that, Saber. Don't you dare try and put mayonnaise on it. If you say so. I witnessed Taiga doing it, so I thought I should try it as well. Fujini's just clowning around. She's hardly a good role model, so be careful from now on. Is that so? I was referencing soccer before, and you took no issue with that, so... Well, I'm not mad about it. I took the time to make the meal, so I just want you to enjoy it. So, back to our conversation. Another helping. Fill my soup bowl up. Give me a bit of everything. Got it. What about you, Saber? We trained harder than usual today, so you might be hungrier. Not especially, but just to be sure, I will take another serving. Got it. If I find you woke up in the middle of the night and raided the fridge because you were too hungry to sleep, I might die of shock. Rin's being quiet. Why would you bring that up? That wasn't me. It was some burglar who came in and raided the fridge. Then go tell that burglar to eat her vegetables as well as her meat. And tell her not to eat all the dessert in the fridge, if that's what she was really after. Honestly, you're not like a hungry wild beast or anything. What did you just say? Don't call me a tiger. Well, I didn't say anything about you. Now, who in the right mind would throw a piping hot daikon radish at me, you idiot? It appears a pot in the kitchen is boiling over. Oh, hold on, Fujini. I need to turn the fire off. Very well. Hurry up and bring the soy sauce, braised chicken, and egg. On it. I'm leaving Fujini in your hands, Saber. Yes, please do not rush. Focus on the cooking, Shiro. I get up. Oh, that reminds me. Why has Tosaka been so quiet this whole time? Are you not liking dinner? It's not that. It's nothing, so don't talk to me. She turns her head away grimly. She's not the type to dwell on things like Shinji for so long, so there must be something else bothering her. Maybe she expected you to try to make Chinese food to, challenge her Chinese food dish? Fujini goes home satisfied after dinner. Saber and Tosaka are in the living room. At first, that had been awkward, but after training with Saber for the last 2 days, it doesn't feel that way anymore. You can go to bed. I'll do the rest. No, I will stay awake until you go to sleep. I would also like to hear from Rin about your skills in magecraft. Got it. And let's go to Tosaka's room early. You don't mind, Tosaka? No, I don't mind. I have to say, you sure have gotten friendly with Saber. For some reason, Tosaka says this with the same miffed tone she had when we were eating dinner. I'll be waiting in my room, so come by after you finish cleaning up. And I'll take the day off school tomorrow, too. Come to my room in the afternoon. Oh, she's jealous. What did you do to Rin? She seems to be very angry. You think that too, Saber? I don't know. I don't think I've done anything to make her mad. Saber and I face each other and tilt our heads. We have no idea why Tosaka's so angry. Oh, you two ignorant. Okay, try to strengthen this lamp for starters. You just need to reinforce the glass. Tosaka hands me an old-looking lamp. I sit on the floor. I cup the lamp with my hands and take a deep breath. Tosaka says it's so easy, but I'm all tense from nervousness. I've been trying this every night with a success rate below 0.1%. She says she wants to see what I can do to measure my skill, but there's nothing to measure if my strengthening doesn't work in the first place. I try to shake off any distractions. Right now I need to focus on the lamp. The blueprint of the lamp pops into my head. The material of the glass, its composition, the flow of its power, I can see it as if it were a network of blood vessels. Then all I have to do is infuse my magical energy into those vessels. I just have to do what I always do. The sensation of a burning metal rod slides down my spine. All I have to do is let that burning nerve into myself, however much it shouldn't exist in a human body, and let it fuse with me. As long as that works, all I have to do is pour the right amount of magical energy into the glass. Oh, it shatters. I couldn't control myself and I ended up using more magical energy than I should have, and the glass shattered. I looked timidly at Tosaka. Figured. I was afraid this might be a case, and it is. What do you mean? Isn't it obvious? I was absolutely baffled by your lack of skill. First of all, you don't even understand the basics. Honestly, I'm impressed you can produce any magical energy with a method that's so completely absurd. Are you mad? Of course I'm mad. I can hardly believe you've been training when you have such a basic problem, and I kind of want to kill your mentor for not correcting you. So she did find out, didn't she? Why are you doing it in such a roundabout way? I get it, but don't badmouth my old man. It's my own fault I don't have talent. He's got nothing to do with it. He has everything to do with it. A teacher's job is to correct a student's errors, and he took you on as an apprentice. I know it's pointless to take it out of somebody who's not here anymore, but your teacher got the first step wrong. Tosaka, clearly still angry, takes something that looks like a can out of her bag. Adjusted seating position. Looks like a can filled with a colorful hard candy, the sort of thing that children overseas might like. I've seen similar containers in Japan, too. They hold a variety of different flavored candies. The white ones are mint. Hold out your hand. I do as she asks. She shakes out the can and a red candy drops into my hand. Here, swallow this. What? Again, I do as she asks. It's not sweet. Actually, it has no flavor at all. The texture is more like a rock than candy. I force myself to swallow it. Oh, my throat's tingling. What was that, Tosaka? What do you mean? It's a jewel. Couldn't you tell? She says it so casually, but it's totally outrageous. A jewel? Why? I couldn't help it. I had some medicine too, but that wouldn't work if I wanted to correct you. I figured I'd need to use the strongest options to open up your switch. That's not my point. Why'd you make me swallow a jewel? I can't digest that. You know, if you're going to worry, you should worry about other stuff. That wasn't an ordinary jewel. What I gave you just now is a compulsory learning device. Since you don't know anything at all, it's going to start melting soon, so brace yourself, or you'll faint. You say that I'm going to faint so casually. Just as I say that, it starts getting weird. What? My body's burning. My limbs are starting to go numb. Heat builds up in my back and a flare of what I can only describe as pain. I furrow my brow and try to concentrate or I know I'll fall over. What did... I know this feeling. This is the feeling of failure. This is my body reacting when it fails to construct a magical circuit inside me. It's okay. It might be painful, but it should slowly ease up as long as you can maintain this state. The heat could last for 2 to 3 weeks. I really want to respond, but I can't stay composed enough to do it. All I can do is muster the strength to stay balanced so I don't topple over. Listen, the difference between a mage and a human is the presence or absence of a switch. You already know this switch is for turning the magical circuit on and off. See the electric kettle over there? Mages are like that. Ordinary humans are just regular kettles that can't boil water on their own, but at least they can keep it warm. That is what we are, similar but different. The difference is in whether someone has a switch to boil the water or not. The moment we are born with it, or rather, the moment it's made, is when we're separated into electric kettles and plain insulated bottles. Anyone who doesn't have this switch won't ever be able to experience magecraft. You see, you might be an amateur, but you do have a magic circuit. That means you have an affinity for it. It's why, once you've created a magic circuit inside you, all you need to do is use the switch. You're just toggling the switch on and off to produce magic energy. I calm my breathing. Just as Tosaka said, as long as I maintain my composure, things don't get worse. You only have to make a magic circuit once, but all this time you've been creating a magic circuit from scratch and incorporating it into yourself every time you use it. And that's such a waste. Once you've created the circuit inside yourself even once, all you have to do is turn it on or off. Normally those who have created a magic circuit would be trained in how to turn it on and off next. But your mentor didn't do that, so you've been risking your life creating a magic circuit every time. Of course, your father may have been misinformed too. Oh, he wasn't. I'm sure he was not. I exhale. Sensation is starting to return to my limbs. Since you've been training the wrong way for so long, your switch is closed. That means all I can do is force it open and make your body understand it has a switch. Excuse me. You see, that jewel you swallowed forces that switch on. So you'll be like this forever unless you can use your own strength to turn it off and return to your normal state. If you can do that, you won't need the help of the jewel. After that, you should be able to control your magic circuit with some simple mental commands. I get that, but... can't we do something about this burning sensation? She keeps telling me to turn off the switch, but how the hell am I supposed to do that? You can already talk. Huh, I guess you're good at controlling yourself. You might get back to normal faster than I thought. As for the switch, your body will naturally try to turn it off to calm down and get comfortable as quickly as it can. All you have to do is will that process speed up. Easy, right? It's not... I don't get it. You say there's a switch, but it doesn't feel real to me. You might think that right now, but eventually you'll be able to form a really clear image. It'll be like a button in your mind, and all you have to do is press it. It should open your magic circuit. Easy as that. I hope so, but I just feel sick right now. I figured you would. You've always closed your magic circuit after using your strengthening magecraft, right? Now you're doing the opposite, opening your magic circuit up. It's like you're running full speed this whole time, so of course it's tough. But that's all part of being a mage. If you're going to fight as a master, turning the switch on and off will be a huge help to you. I know, you took me by surprise, but I still appreciate what you did here. You're right, once I grasp the idea of this switch, it'll help a lot. So you do understand. No need to thank me, though. You're my ally, so I'm only doing this because I can't afford for you to be weak forever. Tosaka huffs and looks away. Maybe it's because my body's all warm. But dazed as I am, I find myself thinking Tosaka might just be a good person. She is. What? Why are you staring at me like that? Nothing, I just thought you weren't really being honest. I see, you must have a lot of spare energy if you can manage to be so flippant right now. If you're fine, you won't mind me continuing, right? Tosaka grins wickedly and draws closer. Hold on a minute. I still can't move a muscle, so what is she? Hey! Try doing your strengthening magecraft again. You might not be able to control your magical energy right now, but you'll be no use in battle unless you can get used to being in this state. It's okay. I brought a ton of lamps. I don't know how many times you're going to fail, but I'm not going to let you rest until you succeed in strengthening. She smiles, and even though I can hardly move, she hands me a lamp. Tosaka, this is brutal. It's like forcing someone to walk a tightrope while they have a 45-degree fever. Honestly, I didn't think I'd give up before you did. Tosaka glares at me. Her penetrating stare is accusing. Sorry? I underestimated you. I never imagined you would destroy all 30. Sorry, but that's it for today's training. We don't have anything else left to measure your skill at strengthening. Come on, at least I tried. I tried hard, even though my body was burning up like I'd been thrown into a boiling kettle. I tried, but in the end, I didn't manage to succeed in my magecraft a single time. You know, if it's just the glass that's broken, you can fix it. I saw you fix the broken window in my house the other day. I can't. That window got broken normally, but these lamps broke because it couldn't hold all your magical energy. It's much harder to work with things infused with someone else's magical energy. Remember that, okay? Yeah. That's right. Go ahead and rest, Shiro. I'd call this a win since I managed to trigger your switch. Once you're able to control it, I'll teach you the rest. I appreciate the chance to rest, but what else are you going to teach me? You can only do strengthening magecraft, right? You said that's all you can do, so I might be able to kick it up another notch and teach you alteration magecraft. Have you been taught what strengthening, alteration, and projection magecraft are? I have a little. Strengthening is, as the word suggests, used to strengthen something. Most people typically think of strengthening as just making something harder, but it actually enhances an object's attributes and effects. A sword gets sharper, a lamp grows brighter, and so on. Alteration doesn't need much explanation. For example, you can't start a fire using blades. Somebody's wrong on that. Alteration is when some ability beyond the object's usual traits is imbued into it. And then projection is... Wait, what is projection again? I remember my old man saying that word a lot, but... You know what strengthening and alteration are, right? Then I think you can imagine what projection is. Simply put, it's magecraft that can replicate things. Unlike strengthening and alteration, projection isn't a magecraft that imbues an object with something. It's essentially magecraft that constructs something from nothing using only your own magical energy. It's one of the most difficult disciplines. I thought it was... Okay, again, this must be a fanon thing, but I thought projection was, like, so common and people didn't bother learning with it. Now that you know that magical energy is disposable, right? Anything you create with projection will quickly disappear. If you project a sword with 10 times the magical energy used to strengthen an existing sword, the strengthened sword will be stronger. Strengthening augments something, so it's efficient. On the other hand, projection uses up way too much magical energy, so it's not really used all that often. Okay, I guess it wasn't just fanon. I remember now. My old man said something similar. He said it wasn't worth it, so I shouldn't pursue it. Exactly. Now if you're done asking questions, let's call it a day. You seem shaky on your feet, so I can help you get back to your room. Isn't Saber here? Tosaka helps me to my room, and Saber is waiting for me by the veranda corridor. Good work, both of you. I don't even have the strength to answer. I just nod in thanks and head into my room. How is Shiro doing, Rin? Bad. Really bad. He doesn't have the talent. It's a typically merciless Tosaka response. And the next thing I know, I'm staring up at the night sky. Tonight, I'm not trying to run away because I'm anxious around Saber. I'm just trying to let the night wind cool my burning body, and to think about what Tosaka taught me. Once I can use my switch, then I'll be able to think about the next steps. If I can't manage the simple task of strengthening, I don't know what the future might hold for me. I try to infuse magic energy into a wooden plank I dragged out from the shed as I mumble to myself. A cracking sound echoes up to me. The plank cracks, my strengthening fails. I can see its structure fine, but I don't understand why I can't control my magical energy. Tosaka said I was putting too much power into it. She even said that I should just use small amounts of magical energy and just focus on reinforcing an object's weak points. So she's basically telling me to take it easy. She doesn't have to remind me. Problem is, I can't manage to ease up. If only there was a good way to relax. The sound of barely audible footsteps reaches my ears. This is the second time I've sensed that presence. What? I don't need anything from you. Feelings mutual. Rin is apparently concerned about you. I can't just sit by and do nothing about that. I throw the plank away, glaring at Archer. He seems curious about the plank. He picks it up. Strengthening magecraft, huh? Pretty pathetic quality, too, I might add. What? Yeah, I know I'm not fully trained mage. I feel bad for making your master take on extra work for me. No, that's not it. Even Rin is mistaken on this matter. What do you mean? Applying new traits to something that already exists? That's just wishful thinking. You're not skillful enough to do something like that. He's just saying whatever he wants, but I can't think of a response. He's right. I know I'm not skilled, and it's my own fault I can't do magecraft properly. There's no point in taking it out on him. What's wrong? You were more spirited last night. Shut up. I'm just not saying anything because you're right. It's all my fault for not being good enough. I huff and look away. I don't know how he interpreted that, but... in a way, I think you've been cursed with poor mentors. Archer almost sounds impressed for a moment. That's not true. My old man and Tosaka are good teachers. I'm the one who can't learn. That's exactly it. You're better off with a mage who has no talent. Geniuses will never understand the struggles of ordinary people. Ren is far too brilliant to understand the mistakes of a failure like you is making. Huh? I don't really get what Archer is trying to say. I don't get it, but if I had to guess... I don't get it. Are you just trying to pick a fight? If so, bring it on. Another mistake. You're not fit for fighting, Shiro Emiya. Your battle is supposed to be a mental one. A fight against your own self. They say a mage's battle is a mental one. I already know that. But if we're gonna fight, it should be with our fists. Honestly, you're making things pretty hard on Saber. Archer despises me from the bottom of his heart. I've never seen his eyes like this. They seem filled with real disappointment and anger. I'm only going to say this once, so listen carefully. You haven't got a prayer of winning once this battle starts. None of your skills are worth a damn against servants. Saber already told me that. I won't win in battle. No matter what grand scheme I try, I have no chance of victory. Excuse me. Then at least imagine it. If you can't possibly beat the opponent in reality, then beat them in your imagination. If you can't win yourself, imagine something that can win. Okay, hang on. Is Emiya being helpful? My throat's starting to get sore. Is Emiya being actually helpful here? Imagine something that can win. He's essentially hinting at projection being Shiro's forte. Is Fate route Emiya helpful compared to the other routes? Interesting. It's all you can really do. I mean, he kind of just spelled it out there. I don't know why, but Archer's words strike a chord with me. My heart's telling me not to forget them. More than anyone else, I should never forget what this man's saying. What a joke. I can't believe I'm giving advice to someone I should be killing. I guess a bit of Rin's softness has rubbed off on me. All of a sudden, Archer disappears. He's supposed to be keeping watch. He must have gone back to the roof where he can do that best. What's with him? I complain to the empty air. Naturally, there is no response. While Archer's words echo in my mind, the cold air blows over my flushed body. Okay, so that's another night done. We have made a lot of progress today compared to prior days. Because we are already on day 8 or 9? Day 9. 9 Neo. New. Huh. Fuyuki's burning. I'm dreaming. Hang on, I want to check flowchart. Make sure I didn't miss any choices. Nope, no choices were missed. Alright. We still have time. We're going to keep going for a bit. I'm dreaming. It must be because my blood is feverish and my entire body is throbbing. It's something I'd rather not have to remember plays out in my dreams. This is my oldest memory. It's also a memory I can't escape. It's a scene from 10 years ago, and one I usually try not to think back on. I can't ever erase it from my memory, though. It's not that I forgot. And it's not even that I want to forget. It's just that it's already happened. So it's not especially painful. And I don't really feel all that angry about it either. The past is the past. I can't return to it. I can't redo it. All that happened is that I escaped and lived on. Looking forward is all I can do. Nobody told me to do that. But I've thought about that, even if just vaguely, since I was a kid. I can't forget or deny the past. The only way to keep the memory of what happened... The only way to keep the memory of what we lost alive is to acknowledge it. True. It's hot. I wake up to find my body is still burning up. I must have wound up falling asleep out in the cool air last night. Inside this dimly lit shed with me and... You've awoken, Shiro. I do not mind you sneaking away from your room, but I do not approve of you sleeping in a place like this. Oh, morning. Well, I was burning up last night, and when I went outside, I got sleepy. I can see that. You do not have to explain yourself, but please do be careful next time. My master sleeping in such a place puts me in an awkward position. Sorry. I'll try sleeping in my own room next time. That would be very helpful, yes. By the way, Shiro, Taiga has been calling for you for a while now. What does she want? It may be about breakfast. It's long past breakfast time. What? It's already past 7? Crap, I overslept. Yes, it's quite unusual for you to be the last to wake up. Your training with Rin last night must have affected you a lot. Saber provides a calm analysis of the situation, but I don't have time for idle chit-chat. I know you went out of your way to wake me up, but go on back ahead of me. I'll hurry up and get changed, then head to the kitchen. Very well. I will do what I can to calm Taiga down. Put that charisma to work! Saber turns and heads back to the house. Calm Fujini. Saber sure has adapted well to our morning routine. Of course, she's Saber. I dash to the kitchen. I ignore Fujini's jeers and prepare breakfast as quickly as I can. Sorry to keep you waiting. There's not much time before school starts, so hurry up and eat. I plop breakfast onto the table. What? Suddenly? What the hell is this? Fujini explodes, practically spitting fire. What is this? It's just toast, Shiro. Why is that all there is for breakfast today? Hey, I overslept. I don't have time to make anything else. And a breakfast with toast is typically just that. It's just missing salad and eggs, so there's not a huge difference. There's a big difference. Everyone else agrees, right? Fujini tries to appeal to Saber and Tosaka, who both eat in silence. This isn't going to go in her favor. Neither of them is as gluttonous as Fujini. She's barking up the wrong tree. No, Saber's kind of more gluttonous. She may be right. I'm not Miss Fujimura, but I don't know if I can tolerate such laziness. I can assume you're insulting bread as a breakfast choice. Hey, wait a minute. I thought she didn't eat breakfast to begin with. Now why is she sighing all disappointed? That's way out of character. See? Everyone thinks you're wrong. Majority rules here, so you'd best think on what you've done, then make a proper breakfast for us. It's so unfair. Besides, if I start making a dish now, you're going to be late, Fujini. It's already 7:30, so you need to do the whole running out with a piece of toast hanging from your mouth thing. Give it up. Fine, if I have to choose between being late or being hungry, I choose breakfast. That's nuts. What kind of teacher even are you? Just eat your toast and go to school. I absolutely refuse to make anything else, even if it kills me. Geez, you really do get worked up over nothing. Keep talking like an old man and you'll become one real quick. You don't need to remind me. Thanks to you, I'm practically an old man already. I hop and take a bite of toast. Okay, she might be right. There's something kind of sad about there being so many people here and then only having toast for breakfast. Do it, Shiro. Make something. Nope. The sounds of clashing shinai echo through the dojo. Each bout goes essentially the same as they have the days before. Saber casually sweeps my desperate strikes aside and counterattacks far more effectively. I barely manage to block and continually strike back, only for Saber to riposte, and I lose. Every time. I stop, breathing heavy, shoulders heaving. Wiping sweat from my brow, I work to get my breathing under control. Why are you resting? You should not have given up so quickly yesterday. You would not have given up so quickly yesterday. Come, attack me, quickly. Hold on, I need to catch my breath. A little break, please. This is so unlike you. If you will not attack, then I will come at you. You do not mind, do you? Saber stares down at her poor student. My body just won't listen, no matter how she looks at me. What has gotten into you, Shiro? You're like a different person than you were the past days. The way you struck me so fiercely and determinedly amazed me. But today, I feel none of that strength. I know that. I really do. I just can't do almost anything today. My situation has drastically changed since yesterday. Is your body still burning? That's no excuse for your movements becoming so sluggish. You must cool your head and refresh your mindset. Well, before I do that, can you do something about that first? I point towards our audience standing by the wall. What? Don't mind me. Just continue your training. Tosaka doesn't get it. I can't concentrate on fighting Saber with her staring at me like that. Is Rin a distraction? That's only further proof you need for training. Very well then, I shall make it so that you need not worry about observers. Whoa, hold up, Saber. I still haven't caught my breath. That'll not be an issue. Breathing is something you'll simply adjust to during battle. Saber suddenly vanishes. The moment I realize I'm in danger and raise my shinai to guard my face, Saber strikes me right on the head. Wah, wah, wah. It was a rough morning. After getting knocked out, I stopped worrying about Tosaka watching. My focus went entirely to blocking Saber's attacks. The next thing I knew, it was lunchtime. Seriously, you are so composed. 3 hours of fighting, Shiro, and you aren't the least bit ruffled. You're usually pretty quiet, but you're much more so in battle. You're almost robotic. I'm not sure if it's because she enjoyed seeing me get knocked around, but Tosaka is in a good mood. The two are resting in the living room. As for me, I'm preparing lunch by myself as punishment for my lax approach to training this morning. Unbelievable. I want to just make something easy like cold somen noodles. Robotic, you say? You may be correct. It's not something I've ever been conscious of, but perhaps I shut off my emotions when I wield a blade. My approach should not change, whether in true battle or simple practice. Oh? What is that mindset you employ as a woman wielding a sword? Are you trying to use your mental state to compensate for your inferior physique? No, Ren. Maintaining one's composure is a key part of battle. It matters not whether you are a man or a woman. I believe you also shut off your emotions in battle, Ren. I know you are the type who can do so. You don't have to just blurt it out, you know. Oh, it's true, but you and I are different. What I try to shut off is my tendency to be too soft. I don't see things in such logical, abstract terms as you do. It appears that way, which is why you are so showy and splendid. You are able to maintain your feminine grace even in battle. Are you being sarcastic? I can't come near you in terms of grace. I don't mind admitting it since Shiro is out of earshot, but I was amazed at how beautiful you were the first moment I saw you. I can't hear you, Tosaka. You mistake me. If you see grace in me, you are simply seeing the elegance associated with the saber class, rather than my physical appearance. That's not true. I really thought that, as a woman, I couldn't even begin to compete with you. I wouldn't have been so shocked otherwise. And that is where you are mistaken. I never thought of myself as a woman, and I've never been treated as one. I therefore cannot be so elegant as you seem to believe. Saber's words bring the conversation to an end. Dot dot dot. As I listen in the kitchen, knife in hand, I find myself getting irritated at what Saber's saying. Really, Shiro? Really? I've always wondered, what does she think she is? I chop the chicken a little bit harder than I need to. For some reason, I'm annoyed. Gee, maybe it's because you're a bit of a, I don't know, bit sexist, maybe? Just maybe? I've never thought of myself as a woman. Not that it has anything to do with me. I slam my knife down into the cutting board as if it were a hammer. It doesn't help me feel any better. So this is today's task. I brought more than yesterday, and it seems like your body's calmed down, so you'll probably get it right this time. I have no idea how she carried them here, but Tosaka reveals around 40 lamps. I'm going to step outside for a bit. I'll be back in a little while, so I expect you to be done by the time I'm back. Tosaka leaves her room. Alright. It's only been a night, but I hope I can succeed at least a couple of times. I think I got half done. It took an hour of work on strengthening about 20 lamps. Half of them shattered, and nothing at all happened to the other half. Of those that didn't change, maybe 5 looked like they'd been infused with magical energy. Now for the remaining 20. Hold on. Wouldn't 5 be enough for a test? All the lamps look to be antiques. I feel bad about breaking more of them. Yeah. Interesting. A choice already. Well, a choice finally. It took most of the day, it feels. Most of the day, yet this... Okay. So, 2 choices here. Split choice. So... What to go with? So, we are debating... Let me get a drink real quick. We are debating right now if we want to test the lamps out without waiting for Rin. No, wait, we're not even debating that. We're debating if we want to let Rin know that we're done, or if we want to just sit here and wait for Rin to get back. The thing is, I've got a bad feeling about this one. Just sitting here and waiting for Rin to come back, I mean, it's kind of almost feels like this is, it almost feels like, hang on, I'm trying to think my thoughts through properly here. This almost feels like it's implying that Rin has been gone for too long. She should be here by now, because she said she would. Let me confirm this. All right, gotta turn on my mouse. So I'll be back in a little while, so I expect you to be done by the time I get back. I think something's going on and we should call Rin. I should call Tosaka back. I shouldn't break any more lamps. Actually, I really shouldn't be talking big after breaking over 40 lamps. Was I right on that guess? Hey, Tosaka. I call out to her, but there's no answer. That's weird. Did she step out of the house? Where else might Tosaka go? There's someone in the shed. Hey Lizard. Welcome to the stream. Happy things. Just towards the end of the stream, too, because my voice is starting to hurt. I think Ilya has killed me twice? I think twice so far, Ilya has killed me. That sounds right. Because there was the one time when we sort of said peace to Saber and let her go. And then there was the other time when we tried to run from Hercules. So yeah, twice. The other time I was got by Media. Sounds like Tosaka and Saber are talking inside. Hey, the instant I lift a hand to call out to her, a chill runs up my spine. I think it's because I can feel Tosaka's magical energy seeping from the shed. It pulses with enmity. What the? I immediately stop calling for her. Even from here, I can tell Tosaka is agitated. But I can hear the two of them talking. This is why you don't like Ilya. But she's so nice in the dojos. Plus, there was also the nice interaction we've had with her when we were not as fellow masters, but, you know, she was just a curious girl wanting to know about her older brother. Before I know it, I'm eavesdropping. What's up with him? Tosaka sounds both angry and nervous. Why are the FBI opening up? Are you saying that in response to this scene right here? Saber stands silently behind her. I don't believe it, Saber. Did you know about this? No, I did not. I'm a knight, not a mage. I only felt something was amiss. I do not understand the situation as well as you, Ren. I see. Then let me tell you. He's no mage. What do you mean by that? I mean what I said. Magecraft is ultimately equivalent exchange. No matter what kind of mystics you're talking about, all it does is take something from somewhere else and put it to use. But this is different. He's creating something from nothing. He's taking that something that shouldn't exist and giving it shape. This is a concept encroaching on reality itself. His magecraft is nothing but a degraded version of it. I have no idea what Tosaka is saying, but I definitely shouldn't be listening in on the two of them. Okay, So, is she talking about Shiro? I feel like she is. So, in other words, what she's saying is that what Shiro is doing is not strengthening. It's sort of more of a hint as to how he is mainly only made for projection. I walk away from the shed. I'll be lying to Tosaka, but I should go back to her room and pretend I was waiting for her to come back. Interesting. It's 2 o'clock. There's no sign of Tosaka returning, so I just focus on finishing my assignment. Oh, the phone's ringing. The ringing just reaches my ears from elsewhere in the house. It's in the living room. Tosaka can. No, she won't dare pick up a phone at somebody else's house. I doubt it's an important phone call, but I shouldn't ignore it. Man, I remember the days when landline phones were a thing. They'd always ring at the most inopportune times. I even remember the days when landline phones meant that you lost your internet connection because they ran through that same connection. So once the phone started ringing, the internet would die, or if you had the internet, or if you wanted to play games on the internet, but your parents were expecting an important phone call, you couldn't be on the internet because you might mean they don't get that important phone call. I stand up and head to the living room to answer the phone, which I think this takes place in 2001, so it would be the right era for that. There's nobody in the living room. Saber and Tosaka must be in the courtyard. Hello, Emiya residence. Hey there, Emiya. I hear you're not at school again today. Are you sick or something? All of a sudden, Shinji's voice sounds from the other end of the line, heavy with barely restrained laughter. Is that you, Shinji? What do you want? I don't think we have anything to talk about. Why the cold reception? I thought I'd called to tell you something. Tell me something? Yeah, there was something I wanted to tell you, but you haven't been to school. I don't want to drag this out, so I called. Couldn't wait any longer. Is Tosaka around? Shinji sounds kind of odd. Yeah, he almost sounds like he's evil or something, Shiro. Get a hint, man. He seems weirdly excited. I can hear other students in the background, so he must still be at school. It's a little past 2, 5th period should be over, so I think it's break time right now. Are you listening, Emiya? Is Tosaka there, or not? Not right now. She just stepped away. Okay, great. I only wanted to talk to you, but I'm going to tell you something real good. So why don't you come to school right now? But come without telling Tosaka, obviously. I don't know how to respond to that. Shinji's acting weird and we're already talking. I don't see any reason to go all the way to school, and if I take off without telling Tosaka, it'd feel like a betrayal. Sorry, but I can't go to school. If you have something for me, it'll have to wait until next week. I'll go back to school after the weekend. Who put you in charge? And then I'll be too late. I just said I can't wait any longer. Good lord, my voice is starting to crack here. I think next choice, so it comes up soon, will be the last. It will be where we save it and then end because my throat is starting to really hurt. Shinji's yelling now. He must be really excited because I can hear his heavy breathing over the phone. Good lord, Shiro, Emiya, how dumb are you? His tone. So you're finally using your head. Yeah, you're right. There's no way you'd come on your own at this point. This whole conversation is pretty suspicious. So of course you'd think it was bad news. I don't think Shiro is even thinking that, Shinji. You are giving him way too much credit, man. His tone shifts entirely and he even starts laughing. Hold on a minute. Calm down, you're acting real strange, Shinji. I don't know what happened, but... Don't lie, Emiya. Knowing Tosaka, I bet she told you everything. You don't need to hide from me. Yeah, you're Saber's master after all. That means you're much, much more of a murderer than I am. Shinji seems to be enjoying himself. I've known him for about 5 years now, but I've never seen him so wound up. Technically, you still haven't seen him wound up, Shiro. Are you? Just come to school, okay? And hurry, Amiya. You should be able to make it by 6th period. It's Fujimura's class anyway, so you won't get in trouble for being a bit late. Well, even Fujini would be mad if I were late for her class, and I might get more of an earful if I only showed up for 6th period rather than missing the whole day. That's your own fault. I don't know if you tell Tosaka that I'm ending our friendship for real. I've turned a blind eye to the whole Sakura thing, but you can at least fulfill your obligations as a friend in the end. Right. Our conversation ends there. All I hear is the buzzing electronic tone from the receiver. What's with him? But what should I do? Tosaka should be in the house, but I don't see her anywhere. And if I go to school, I can't bring Saber. But then if I don't do what Shinji asks, I'm worried what he might do. He's probably agitated because of that merciless rejection Tosaka gave him yesterday. If I ignore him, he might get violent with Sakura again. Well, it's still bright out, so it shouldn't be an issue. Good Lord, Shiro, how dumb are you? I should hurry now that I've made a decision. If I hurry, I should be able to make it by 6th period. Did I miss a... Hang on. Did I miss a choice there? No, I did not miss a choice there. Interesting. It said I made a decision, but I did not make a decision, so I thought I missed a choice. But it does look like we are approaching a choice, and it'll be a choice which we will end things off with. There's nobody at the school gate. From the outside, it looks like the school is deserted since class is in session. Maybe there's no physical education class either, since there's nobody in the courtyard either. Well, that's going to change in a few minutes. When 6th period's over, school's out. The campus and exits will be overflowing with people on their way out. I head up to the 3rd floor. There's nobody in the hallway either. Everyone must be in their classrooms, so I feel a little awkward walking into Class C. Well, it's not like I'm going to be completely conspicuous, so I should hurry to the classroom. Class C is down the hall. Right now I'm in front of Class H, which is closest to the stairs, so there are 5 classrooms between me and my destination. Here we go. A wave of dizziness slams into me. My entire body is overcome with nausea. Blood. My stomach churns. My senses are going completely haywire. Red floods my vision, as if blood were seeping into my eyes. The temperature around me hasn't changed, but my body is suddenly unbearably hot. What the hell is this? I stumble. Strength leaves my body. I feel like I'm withering and I can't do anything to stop it. In the same way you can't stop sand from falling into an hourglass. I'm suffocating. My throat burns. Was all the air just sucked from this hallway? From the entire school? I sway and by accident stagger toward a window, desperate for air. I jerk it open. What? I freeze. This is so unbelievable I can't even find the wherewithal to get confused. Outside the window, the entire campus is a field of endless red. It looks like the school was carved out of the world and plunged into a sea of red. The school building looks like an altar draped in a red canopy. And then finally, I realize what's happening. I move away from the window. I muster up what sense I have left and force my feet to move, heading into the classroom closest to me. Inside, not a single student is seated in any of the chairs. They're all lying on the floor. Even the teacher is on the floor behind the podium. They're still breathing. Everyone is convulsing as if pleading for help. Nobody is dead yet. The students don't have the strength to get up. They're just waiting to rot away. Seeing their miserable state on the floor, brings to mind the burning ruins from that day. The nausea intensifies, but I can still get a handle on the situation. I take a look at the students on the floor. It's difficult, but we can breathe. They're not dead. If I hurry and get help, there may be a chance to save them. But the moment I check the faces of a student nearby, something clicks inside my head. Their skin. It's hard as wax. Not everyone is like this. It varies from person to person, but the most severely weakened student's blood seems to have coagulated around their joints. Oily and glistening. Stiff, motionless arms. Fixed, staring eyes. Just like wax figures. I know this. I recognize the scene. Stop. This is just a hellscape. I know this site well. I said stop. All that's sustaining me now is anger that has completely eclipsed any fear. My left arm tingles. The command spell in the back of my hand is warning me that an enemy is nearby. I run, though my breathing is heavy and labored. I've long since lost my mind. Glad to see you're doing better than I expected. So what do you think of this? At the end of the hallway, Shinji Mato is standing in front of Class C. My arm throbs. My command spells are screaming at me, telling me the boy just ahead of me caused all this. So this is all you're doing, Shinji. I can't breathe properly, but I glare at Shinji, who's keeping his distance. He must really like what he's seeing. Because the next thing I know, Shinji throws his arms wide and starts cackling in the blood-red hallway. Of course it is. I knew as soon as you arrived, so I triggered the bounded field. It wasn't easy to time it just right, you know. If I did it too early, you'd run away. And if I did it too late, we would have had to face each other. I wanted to see the look on your face myself, so I didn't want to make it too simple. So you were lying about having something to discuss. Discuss? Actually, we're just about to start that part. I need to show Tosaka how much better I am than you, and I should apologize for lying to you as well. See, I didn't tell you that I was the one who put the bounded field up over the school. Shinji laughs like it's the funniest thing ever. I guess I've learned to never trust him. Hey, you don't look as surprised as I'd have thought. So when I told you the bounded field wasn't mine, you didn't believe me. Oh, this is too good. Sometimes even you don't trust people. Shinji's merry laughter bores into my skull like a drill. I have to point out, I'm probably surprised. I'd just been bracing myself to learn who set up the bounded field. Shinji or the other master. That was all. But so much for my optimism. I should have settled things with Shinji the moment I learned he was a master. This is all my fault. Why did you do this? Were you lying about having no intention of fighting too? Well, I think that was the truth. I had no intention of activating this. It was really just a negotiation tool. If I set a bomb, Tosaka would think twice about attacking me, and I'd have an ace up my sleeve in case something happened. I see, but Tosaka said it would take a few more days to activate the bounded field. Does that mean she miscalculated? She would say that, but you know, the bounded field may not be complete, but it's already formed. Activating it is no problem. Okay, I admit that does make it less effective. At this point, it might take a few more minutes to kill anyone. Stop it. The nausea is long since gone. One thing is all I can say to... excuse me. That one thing is all I can think to say to Shinji right now. Stop it. Stop what? You're not telling me to stop this bounded field, are you? I can't waste a perfectly good bounded field by stopping it after it's already been activated. I said stop it. Do you have any idea what you've done? You're pissing me off. You think you can order me around. Besides, this is my power. I'm the one who decides whether or not to stop it. And if you really want me to stop it, the least you can do is get on your knees and beg. Honestly, you and Fujimura both need to learn your place. Hey, what about Fujini? Oh, Fujimura. She managed to squirm around even after the bounded field activated. Everyone was dropping like flies, but there she was, still wobbling around. She hobbled over to me since I was still standing and had the nerve to tell me to call an ambulance. Unbelievable, right? Playing the model teacher and all that. Of course I'm not going to do something like that. Don't want to, but Fujimura kept clinging to me, which really pissed me off. But when I kicked her, she stopped moving. She'll probably die first. I feel a switch flipping inside me. Tosaka said something about pressing a switch in my head, but it's nothing like that. There's this echoing clang in my head. A firing hammer strikes inside my head, and the inside of my body suddenly switches over. This is your last warning. Stop the bounding field, Shinji. You really don't get it, do you? The more you try ordering me around, the less I want to listen. If you don't like what I'm doing, then you better try to stop me yourself, Emiya. Got it. Then it's really simple. All I have to do... I need to stop him so I can stop the bounded field. Something surges inside me. Fiery heat blooms through my body. There's no more than 20 meters between me and Shinji. It should only take an instant. My body is surging with vitality, so much more than when I activate my magic circuits. You really are an idiot. A shadow wavers. A dark shape waiting in the corner of the hallway begins to take shape and move. A hard, sharp edge made of darkness itself. It's like a guillotine ready to cleave anything that approaches Shinji in two. I don't know what kind of magecraft it is. 3 shadows emerge. If that's all there is, Okay, this is going to be where I call today's stream of the FSN Remaster. We are finally starting the proper combat here. These shadows are probably Sakura's doing, so Sakura is involved in this to a degree, which I think happens in the Unlimited Blade Works route. But yeah, we are on day 9. Our first true battle since Shiro has properly become a master has begun. But we will get to more of what that is going to be on Friday. For now, I've been SoulRackDragon. I hope you've enjoyed today's stream. If you have, leave me some feedback in whichever way you so see fit. If you want to check out more by me, be sure to check out my channel here on Twitch or YouTube. Same name, same games. There is plenty of content for all to enjoy. Once again, thank you all so much for coming out. Hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic evening, everybody. I'm going to do that.